So, okay, good morning, everyone. Yes. So, we are talking about, yes. So, what are the facilities or what are the features like Python is providing? Yes. So, here, yes, in the previous class, I was talking about platform independency. I was talking about platform independency. So, what is a platform? I said platform is a software which provides a good environment for development and execution of applications. Operating system is called as which one here? Platform, right? So based on this, the programming languages are two. One is called as platform dependent languages, and one more is called platform independent languages. So what is the meaning of platform dependency? Okay, what is the meaning of platform dependency? Don't say OS dependency. Okay, but sometimes I may ask you, tell me about platform dependency and tell me about platform independency. What is the drawback of platform dependency and how to overcome that and how to achieve platform independency? This is one of the important question for freshers. Okay, yes, there's a class Saturdays and Sundays also. Okay, yes. Yes, Monday to Saturday you'll have the class, and tomorrow also you have a class. Tomorrow also there is a class. Okay, right. I said 2.5 months it will take, 2 to 2.5 months to complete this course. So what is platform dependency here? So I said no, platform is a software which provides a good environment for development and execution of applications. An operating system is called as the platform. So based on this, there are two languages. One is platform dependent languages and one more is platform independent. So in platform dependent languages, dependent languages, the development environment in platform dependent languages, the development environment and execution environment, development environment and execution environment must be same. Development environment and execution environment both must be what here? Same. Okay. Development environment and execution environment must be same. It means, or you can say, so the applications developed on one OS can be executed on same OS, but cannot executed on another OS. In platform dependent languages, in platform dependent languages, okay, in platform dependent languages, we develop the applications, we develop applications, okay, respective to operating system. In platform dependent languages, we develop applications respective to what operating system. So what is the meaning of this? Yeah, all these notes are uploaded in Google Classroom. I said yesterday, you send a request to Mahesh. Okay, you people can send a request to Mahesh. So he'll be adding you to in Google Classroom. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? For example, every language, every language provide, just try to understand, every language provide, just concentrate here, every language provide, every language provide data types. Okay, every language provide data types. Why you use the data types? Generally, you try to use the data types in order to reserve memory. Okay, every language provide what? Data types. And why we use the data types? In order to reserve memory. Okay, in order to reserve memory, you take the help of which one? Data types. For example, if you are working with a programming language like C, okay, suppose there is a C language. Example for platform dependent languages is, okay, C plus plus are called platform dependent languages. Platform dependent languages. Okay, C is a platform dependent language and C plus plus is a platform dependent language. C is a platform dependent and C plus plus is also platform dependent. C is a platform dependent and C plus plus is also a platform dependent. So why C plus plus? Why C plus plus are called platform dependent languages? Okay, for example, you have to develop applications in C plus plus respective to what year? Operating system. For example, if we take C data types, okay, C data types completely depends on OS. For example, you have a 16-bit operating system. There is a 16-bit operating system, okay, and assume that there is a 32-bit, there is a 32-bit operating system. Assume that there is a 16-bit operating system and there is a 32-bit operating system. So how many operating systems are there? Two types. One is 16-bit, 32-bit, 64-bit. You'll see now Windows 16-bit, Windows 32-bit, Windows 64-bit. Okay, now it means your operating system can process this many number of bytes at a time. So you find different types of operating systems like 16-bit as well as what 32-bit as well as what 64-bit. For example, if we take C data types, like for example, there is a data type called which one? Integer. Okay, there is an integer data type. So integer data type on 16 bits, it takes how many bytes? 2 bytes. If it is 32-bit, it takes how many bytes? 4 bytes. Okay, it means my data types in C language The data types of C language depends on which one OS. It means whenever I write a program in C, C++, whenever I write a program in C, C++, I have to write a program in C, C++ respective to what operating system. Ring on it. I have to write the programs in C, C++ respective to what operating system, because it might be changes from one OS to what another OS. Not only that, C, C++ is not only the data types not only depends on OS. At the same time, see, I said no, you have to write the program respective to which one operating system. Respective to operating system. Why? Because whenever you are talking about data, whenever you write a program in any language, that program required to reserve some space. That program required to reserve some space. But how you are reserving the space? You always reserve the space with the help of which one? Data types. You always reserve the space with the help of data types. Okay, for example, I write a program. I write a program in C language. Assume that I write a program in C language on which operating system? 16-bit operating system. I'm writing a C program on which operating system? 16-bit. Then I have to write the program respective to how many bytes? 2 bytes. Okay, I have to write respective to how many bytes? 2 bytes. Okay, suppose if it is 2 bytes means how much data I can store? I can store the data which range from minus 32,768 to minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. Now this much data I can store in how many bytes? 2 bytes. This much data I can store in how many bytes? 2 bytes. So I have to write respective to which one? 16-bit OS. For example, if I'm writing a program on 32-bit OS, then what I have to do? I have to write the program respective to which one? 32-bit OS. I have to write the program respective to which one here? 32-bit OS. Now 32-bit OS means it is 4 bytes. 4 bytes is nothing but some 2 to the power of, okay, 2 to the power of how much here? 32 bits. 2 to the power of 32. I can store what? 2 to the power of 32, which is more than 32,767. Okay, it means always I need to write the program respective to which one here? OS. It means my program is completely depends on which one? OS. Because data type sizes depends on which one? OS. Data type sizes depends on OS, and I have to write the program respective to what? OS. And not only that, not only that, not only that, not only that. So what will happen here is, okay, now I'm just copying this. Okay, not only that, for example, I write a program, for example, I write a program in C language. Now this is one system. Okay, okay, assume that this is one system. Okay, this is one system, and assume that this is another system. Okay, there are two systems here, and this is, assume that an operating system called which one? Windows, and assume that this is an operating system called which one? Linux. Okay, this is an operating system called Windows, and this is an operating system called which one? Linux. I write a program on Windows, suppose C program. I write a program in Windows. In which language? C language. After writing a program, what will I do? I compile. Because is it computer understands C language? No. Computer will not understand which language? C language. Computer understand only one language. Which language it is? Binary language. Now what this compiler will do is, this compiler generates which code? Binary code. It will generate binary code and or executable code. Binary code or what? executable code. It will generate binary code or executable code respective to which operating system? Windows operating system. It will generate binary code or executable code respective to which operating system? Windows. It means this executable code can executed by which operating system? Windows. This executable code is executed by which operating system? Windows. So computer understand which language? Binary. Now it will generate the binary code respective to which operating system? Windows. Now can I move this binary code? Can I move this binary code to the Linux? Can I move this binary code to the Linux and execute it? No. Can I move this binary code to the Linux and execute it? No, I cannot execute it. I cannot execute it because this binary code is native code, and this binary code is this binary code is generated respective to which operating system? Windows. It means this code is understood by which operating system? Windows, but cannot understand by which operating system? Linux. It is understood by only Windows, but cannot understand by which one? Linux. If I want to execute this binary code on Linux, what I have to do? If I want to execute this binary code on Linux, if I want to execute the same program on Linux, what I have to do? If I want to execute the same program on Linux, what I have to do? I have to move this program. I have to move this program from Windows to which one? Linux. I have to move this program from Windows to Linux, and then what I have to do? I have to compile it. After moving this program, from Windows to Linux, what I have to do? I have to compile it. If I compile it, what will happen? I'll get which code here? Binary code. I'll get the binary code, and this binary code is generated respective to which operating system? Linux operating system. It will generate the binary code, and this binary code is generated respective to which operating system? Linux. But assume that this Windows is 16-bit and this Linux is what? 32-bit. Assume that this Windows is which one? This Windows is which one? 16-bit. This Windows is, assume that it is 16-bit, and this Linux is which one? 32-bit. Assume that this is 16-bit and this is what here? 32-bit. Then when I move this program, from 16-bit OS to what? 32-bit, I have to do changes according to which operating system? 32-bit. It means I need to write the entire program again or not? Yes. I have to write the entire program again. Okay, because here I write a program respective to which operating system? 16-bit operating system. 16-bit operating system. Now when I move my program from 16-bit to what? 32-bit, I have to do changes according to which operating system? 32-bit. Suppose I write a program in 32-bit. When I move the program to the 16-bit, I have to do the changes according to which operating system? 16-bit. Is nothing but doing changes is nothing but, is it redeveloping the same program or not? Is it doing changes is nothing but reconstructing the same program or not? Yes. It means for every OS, I need to develop. For every OS, I need to develop the same program again and again. So that will increase the development cost. That will increase what here? Development cost. That will increase the development cost. It means I have to develop the same application again and again. I have to develop the same application again and again. What I mean to tell you is, just here, suppose, assume that I develop one game. Okay, let us see with the game here. This is a game. Okay, assume that this is a game. Some game I developed in C language. Some game. What is my game is some chess.c. So what is my game here? Chess.c. Computer understand only binary language. Okay, computer understand only binary language. Now this is chess.c. Which one it is? Chess.c. Okay, and I compile it. When I compile it, okay, the compiler generates which code? Binary code. The compiler generates binary code. The same thing you can call it as chess.exe. So who understand this binary code? Computer. Okay. Now this binary code is generated respective to which operating system? Windows. Can I move this? Can I move this to Windows and execute? Can I move this to other Windows operating system and execute? Tell me. Can I move this to another Windows operating system and execute? Yes. Okay, I can move this to another Windows operating system and execute. Another Windows operating system and what? Execute. Now, Windows to Windows, can I move it or not? Yes, because this is generated. This binary code is generated on which operating system? Windows. Can I execute this on another Windows operating system? Yes. Okay, now Windows only. Both are Windows only, right? Both are Windows. Assume that this is 16-bit. This is what here? 16-bit. And this is which one? 32-bit. This is 16-bit and this is what here? 32-bit. Okay, suppose if your Windows is 64-bit, you need to download the softwares which work on which operating system? 64-bit. Okay, if your Windows is 32-bit, you have to download the software which work on which one? 32-bit. If it is a 16-bit, you have to download the software which work on which one? 16-bit. It means this chess game is developed in which one? Compiled in which operating system? Windows 16-bit. But can I move this to the 32-bit and execute? Can I move this to the 32-bit and execute? No. What I have to do? But both are Windows only. Both are what here? Windows only. Both are Windows only. But this is Windows 16 and this is Windows 32. But I generated binary code. Respective to Windows which operating system? 16-bit operating system. It is generated binary code respective to which operating system? 16-bit operating system, which I cannot run on which one? 32-bit. If I want the same chess game on 32-bit, what I have to do? I have to move which program? Chess.c. Chess.c to which one? 32-bit operating system. And I have to do changes according to which operating system? 32-bit. Okay, 32-bit. And then what I have to do? Compile. What I have to do here? Compile. When I compile it, what will happen? It will generate the binary code. What will happen? It will generate the binary code. It will generate the binary code respective to which operating system? Windows 32. It means what you are doing it exactly, you are writing the programs respective to what? Same operating system. When you want to execute this code on other operating systems, what do you have to do? You have to do some changes. So doing changes is nothing but, is it developing application again and again or not? Yes. So same application you are developing again on which operating system? 32-bit. Okay, if I'm moving to the Linux, I have to do the changes according to which operating system? Linux. If I'm moving to the Solaris, I need to do changes according to which operating system? Solaris. Why? Because the data types in the data types in C or C++ completely, the data types in C, C++ are completely, yes, work. The data types in C, C++ is completely, which one? The data types in C, C++ is completely what? OS dependent. OS dependent. The binary code, what it generates, changes from one OS toward another OS. So why C, C++ are called platform dependent? Okay, the reasons. Now, sometimes I may ask you, why C, C++ are called, why C, C++ are called platform dependent? Why C, C++ are called as platform dependent? First reason. What is the first reason? What is the first reason? Data types. First reason is what? Data types. The data types of C, C++ data types of C, C++ are, what is that? OS are platform dependent. OS are platform dependent because the size of these data types are not, the size of these data types are not fixed. The size of these data types are not fixed. Okay, these data type sizes, this data type, this data types of sizes changes from one OS to what? One OS to another OS. Okay. Second one is, okay, second one is compiled code, compiled code, compiled code. So whenever, whenever C, C++ programs compiled, compiled, C, C++ compilers, C, C++ compilers generate which code? Binary code. Whenever C, C++ programs compiled, C, C++ compilers generate which code? Binary code. This binary code, this binary code is generated respective to, respective to which one? Operating system. This binary code cannot moved. This binary code cannot moved from one OS to another. This binary code cannot moved from one OS to another. Okay. Yes. So these are the reasons. Just try to understand these reasons here. Okay, so that is data types and compiled code. Okay, data types and one more is what here? Compiled code. Data types and compiled code. Okay. Yes. So what is the disadvantage? Okay. The disadvantage, disadvantage of, disadvantage of, disadvantage of platform dependent languages, dependent languages. Okay, required to develop, required to develop or changes, do changes, do changes according to what here? OS. Okay, disadvantage of platform dependent languages required to develop or do changes according to which one? OS. It means what I meant to tell you is you have to develop the same application again and again. If I want to develop a chess on, if I want to develop a chess for Windows, Linux, Solaris, I have to develop for how many times? 3 times. For Windows operating system, for Linux operating system, for Solaris operating system, because internal representation of, internal representation of data, internal representation of data, internal representation of data changes from one OS to, from one OS to what is that? Another OS. Internal representation of data changes from one OS to what? Another OS. Internal representation of data changes from one OS to another OS. Yes. So because of that, you have to develop the same application again and again. You have to develop the same application for again and again. Suppose if any game in C language, right, you find for multiple operating system. Suppose if you're working on Windows, you have to download chess for Windows, a game chess for Windows. If your operating system is Linux, you have to download chess for Linux. If your operating system is Solaris, you have to download chess for Solaris. It means that game is written in which language now? C language. Because of that, they generated binary code respective to what? Windows, Solaris, as well as what? Linux, according to different operating systems. And not only that, you find chess for 32-bit operating system, chess for 16-bit operating system. It means these applications are completely written in which language? C language. Because of that, you have to develop the same application for number of operating systems again and again. So that might increase what here? Development cost. That might increase the development cost, right? To avoid this, they introduce which one? Platform independent languages. Platform independent languages. Platform independent. Platform independency. So what is this platform independency? The slogan of this platform independency is VORA. VORA means write once. Slogan of platform independency is VORA. VORA means write once, write once and run. Run, what is that? Anywhere. Write once and run anywhere. Write once and run anywhere. Okay, write once and run anywhere. Suppose if I'm writing on Windows, can I run anywhere in C? No. I have to do changes according to which one? OS. I cannot run anywhere. So it is completely depends on which one? OS. But when it comes to the platform independent languages, what is the slogan here? Write once and run anywhere. Not only that, Cora, you'll call it as Cora. Cora means compile once and run anywhere. Cora means compile once and run anywhere. Compile once and run anywhere. If I compile on Windows, for example, if it is a C, if I'm compiling my code on Windows, I get which code? Binary code respective to what? Windows. Can I execute that binary code on Linux? No. Can I execute that binary code on Linux? No, I cannot execute it. But when it comes to the platform independent languages, if I compile my program on Windows, I can execute on what? Linux or any other operating system without without doing any changes. So the slogan of platform independency is VORA, which is called as write once and run anywhere, and CORA, which is nothing but compile once and run anywhere. So what do you mean by platform independency? Okay, what is a platform dependency? What is the definition? What is the definition of platform dependency? In platform dependent languages, the development environment and execution environment must be same. Development environment is Windows, then execution environment is also Windows. Development environment is Linux, then execution environment is also Linux. Okay, the applications developed on one OS can be executed on what? Same OS, but cannot executed on what? Another OS. Okay, in platform dependent languages, we develop applications respective to which one? OS. So that is C, C++ are called as platform dependent languages. Now, example is I said about data types. Okay, integer 16-bit is 2 bytes, 32 is what? 4 bytes. It means I have to write the C program respective to which one? Operating system. Okay, not only that, when you compile your program on Windows, you get the binary code respective to what? Windows, and that binary code cannot understand by which one? Linux. But if I want to execute the same program on Linux, I have to move this program to which one? Linux. I have to compile again. But to compile it, I have to do changes in this program respective to which one? Linux. And then I have to do what? Compilation. Getting on. So the it means the programs are depends on the C program is depends on which one? OS, and C compiled program also depends on which one? OS. That is where you'll say C is a platform dependent. That is where you'll say C is a platform dependent. But what will happen in platform independent languages? In platform independent languages, we can develop application in one platform and you can execute in what? Another platform. So in platform independent languages, the development environment and execution environment both may not be same. In platform independent languages, the development environment, yes, that can be same. Can I run same binary? Yes, no problem. So Windows 16, no problem. In platform independent languages, the development environment and execution environment may not be same, right? So it means the applications developed on one OS, the applications developed on one OS can be executed on what? Can be executed on same OS, or executed on, can be executed on what? Another OS. Another OS can be executed on same OS or can be executed on what? Another OS. Why? Because platform independent languages doesn't depends on OS. Okay, so the runtime environment for platform independent languages doesn't provided by which one? OS. So platform independent languages, they have their own runtime environment. Who is providing a runtime environment for C, C++? OS. Who's providing a runtime environment for C, C++? OS. But who is providing a runtime environment for platform independent? They have their own operating system. I cannot say that is the operating system, but it is called as another platform. So these languages, they have their own platform. These languages, they have their own platform. It doesn't depend on which one? OS. It doesn't depend on OS. These languages are having their own platform which provide the runtime environment. Example for platform independent languages like Java. Okay, Java is a platform independent language. .NET is a platform independent language, and even your Python is also what here? Platform independent. That is write once and run anywhere. Compile once and run anywhere. Okay, Java is a platform independent. .NET is a platform independent, and Python is also what? Platform independent. Yes, yes, correct. Shirisha, yes, yes. Okay, okay, yes. So what will happen when you're working with the platform independent languages? It is like this. See, platform independent languages doesn't depends on which one? OS. Remember this. Platform independent languages doesn't depends on OS. Remember this. One thing you have to remember. They have their own platform. They have their own platform. For example, this is which one? Windows. Okay, this is which one here? Linux. Okay, there is a Windows operating system, and there is which one? Linux operating system. But are you writing the program? Are you writing the program in Python? Are you writing a program in Python respective to the operating system? No. If you are writing a program respective to the operating system, if you are writing a program respective to the operating system, if you are writing a program respective to the operating system, then Python also becomes what? Platform dependent. If you are writing a program in Python respective to the operating system, Python also becomes what? Platform dependent. But for Python, who's providing a runtime environment, it doesn't depends on which one? OS. And the size, data type size doesn't depends on which one? OS. Data type size doesn't depends on which one? OS. So when you are working with the Python runtime is provided by another program. It is provided by another program. And what is that another program is? PVM. So who is execute the Python program? PVM. PVM stands for Python Virtual Machine. Who execute the Python program? PVM. PVM, which is called as Python Virtual Machine. So PVM is one standard. Okay, PVM is one standard, and all the PVMs are developed. All the PVMs are developed by following certain rules and regulations. The PVM doesn't changes from one OS to which one? Another OS. Okay, suppose Windows PVM. Assume that if Windows PVM is reserving some 2 bytes of memory, then Linux PVM is also reserve how many bytes? 2 bytes only. It doesn't changes from one OS to what? Another. Suppose if it is Windows 16-bit, then PVM will reserve 2 bytes only. Okay, if it is Windows 32-bit, PVM reserves how many bytes? 2 bytes only. Why? Because PVM is one standard. It doesn't changes from one OS to what? Another. That is what you learn even when you're working with Java also. So Java data types doesn't depends on what? OS. Java data types depends on which one? JVM. There you have JVM, Java Virtual Machine. But here you have which one? PVM, which is called as Python Virtual Machine. Getting on it. But the data type sizes in Python are dynamic. It means there is no size, fixed size in, there's no fixed size in what? Python. Suppose in Python, what is the size of integer means? You'll say unlimited length. What is the size of integer is? Unlimited length. Unlimited length, it means, are you writing? Are you writing programs respective to any OS? No. So the size of integer is unlimited length. So who is reserving space for this integer data type? PVM. And PVM is reserving memory of how much size? Unlimited length. Not 2 bytes or 3 bytes or 4 bytes or 10 bytes. No, it is unlimited length. It's dynamic. It is what here? Dynamic. It means my program doesn't depends on what? OS. Yes, in here you are saying it as PVM, but in Java it is called as which one? JVM. Okay, now suppose I'll try to say program 1.py. Every Python program will have the extension. What is that? .py. This Python program is compiled. I try to compile this Python program using a Python compiler. When I compile the Python program, what Python compiler will do? When I compile the Python program, what Python compiler will do? Python compiler will not generate executable code. Python compiler will generate which code here? Byte code. Okay, it is not generating binary code. It is not generating binary code. Binary code. Who understand binary code? OS. Who understand binary code? OS. But is it generating binary code? No. It is not generating binary code. It is generating which code? Byte code. And this byte code is understood by whom? This byte code is understood by whom? PVM. This byte code is understood by whom? PVM. And this byte code is translated by whom? PVM into which code? Native code or binary code. Now that is done by whom? PVM. Now can I move this compiled code? Can I move this compiled code from Windows operating system to the Linux, or Can I move this bytecode from Windows operating system to the Linux and execute it? Can I move this bytecode from Windows operating system to the Linux and execute it? Yes. Because is it bytecode is a platform independent code or not? Yes. It is a platform independent code. This code is not generated respective to which one? Windows. But binary code is generated respective to which one? OS. But bytecode is not generated respective to which one? OS. Bytecode is which code? Python virtual machine code. Bytecode is which code here? Python virtual machine code. Is it bytecode is understood by OS? No. Bytecode is not understood by what? OS. Bytecode is understood by whom? PVM. That is Python virtual machine. Can I move this bytecode from Windows to Linux and execute? Yes. But what I required here? PVM. Getting on. So computer understand which code? Binary code, which is zeros and ones. But bytecode is Python virtual machine code. Bytecode is a Python virtual machine code. It is a collection of what? Mnemonics. It is a collection of mnemonics, and that is understood by whom? PVM. These mnemonics are nothing but some verbs. It means bytecode is Python virtual machine language code. Okay, this code is understood by only whom? Python virtual machine. But binary code is understood by system, right? So binary code is a platform dependent, but bytecode is what? Platform independent. After compiling it, this compiled code, can I move it to any operating system and execute it or not? Yes. But in order to execute this compiled code on any operating system, what you required? What you required? PVM, which is called as Python virtual machine. And Python compiled code doesn't depends on which one? OS. Python compiled code depends on which one? PVM, right? This is how Python achieves the platform independency. This is how Python achieves the platform independency. When it comes to the Python, the size of data types in Python are dynamic. Okay, size of Python data types are what? Dynamic and with unlimited length. So you don't require to think about size of the data types. Okay, you don't require to think about what? Size of the data types. Okay, you don't require to write the code respective to which one? OS. No, not required, right? Just see some of the definitions here. Okay, now first question is what is bytecode? What is bytecode? See, some questions are there here. What is bytecode? What is source code? What is bytecode? What is source code? What is which code? Binary code, or same thing you call it as which one? Native code. And next one is what is PVM? What is PVM? Now some questions here. Now tell me, what is source code? What is source code or source program? Tell me, what is source code or source program? What is source code? What is source code or source program? What is source code or source program? The program written in which language? Python or any high level language. Any high level language is called which one? Source code or source program. Source code or source program. Who understand this source program? Programmer. Who understand this source program? Programmer. Python programmer understand which program? Python program. See, sometimes they ask you, show me your source code. Show me your source code means what you show. The program, what you have written, that you have to show it. Because that program is called as which program? Source program. Source. Okay, source program. Using which language you have written that program is called as which one? Source program. If you are writing a program using Java, what is the source of this program? Java program. If you are writing a program using a Python, Python is the source for this program, then it is called as which one? Python program. Then what is a bytecode? What is a bytecode? Tell me. compiled code, compiled code of Python source program is called which one? Bytecode. Compiled code of Python source program is called as which one? Bytecode. Bytecode is bytecode is bytecode is which one? Platform. Bytecode is a platform independent code. Bytecode is a platform independent code. Okay, bytecode is Python. Bytecode is Python what? Virtual machine code. Bytecode is a Python virtual machine code. Bytecode is a collection of what is that? Mnemonics. Bytecode is a collection of which one? Mnemonics. And this mnemonics understand by whom? Python virtual machine. Mnemonics are nothing but some verbs. And these mnemonics understand by this mnemonics understand by whom? Python virtual machine. Okay, yes. Bytecode is not zeros and ones. Don't think that bytecode is a zeros and ones. But which one is a zeros and ones? Binary code. Binary code. Binary code. Binary code is now see here. Binary code. Binary code is a collection of which one? Zeros and ones. Binary code is zeros and ones. Zeros and ones. It is a platform. It is a platform. It is a platform dependent code. Is a platform dependent code. This code is understand by. This code is understand by which one? Machine. OS. Machine, or what is that? OS. Because OS is a communicator, right? Okay. Okay. Then what is PVM? Now next question is, what is PVM? What is PVM? What is PVM? PVM stands for what? Python virtual machine. PVM stands for Python virtual machine. Python virtual machine. Is it a software or hardware? PVM is the Python virtual machine. Is it a software or hardware? Python virtual machine, is it a software or hardware? Python virtual machine is a software or hardware? It is a software. Python virtual machine is a software. PVM is PVM is what here? Software. It is not hardware, right? PVM is not hardware. PVM is what here? Software. PVM is a software. PVM stands for Python virtual machine. PVM is a software or platform. Software or platform which provides runtime environment, which provide runtime environment for which applications? Python applications, which provide runtime environment for Python applications. PVM is having interpreter. PVM is having interpreter. Now this is my Python program. Program 1.py. And this program 1.py, if I give it to the compiler, this is which compiler? Python compiler. This is Python compiler. What Python compiler is doing? It is generating which code? Bytecode. It is generating which code? Bytecode. And this bytecode, you also call it as program 1.pyc. What is this here? Program 1.pyc. pyc. What it contain? Bytecode. Pyc means compiled program. If I want to execute this, program, on different operating systems, now this is one operating system and this is one more operating system. I want to execute this program on Windows operating system. I want to execute this program on Linux operating system. Can I execute directly this PVC file? can execute directly this PYC file on Windows and Linux? No. Is it your computer understand bytecode or binary code? Binary code. But this is which code? Bytecode. If I want to execute this, if I want to execute this on Windows, if I want to execute this on which one? Linux, what I have to do? I required which one? PVM. Now what this PVM is having is, it is having which one? Interpreter. It is having which one? Interpreter. PVM is having interpreter, and this interpreter convert this bytecode into which code? Binary code. It converts this bytecode into which code? Binary code, respective to which one? OS. Okay. Now what I required here? PVM. Is it this PVM is having interpreter or not? Yes, it is having interpreter, and this interpreter converts this bytecode into which code? Binary code. It will convert this bytecode into which code? Binary code, respective to which one? Linux operating system. Binary code, respective to which operating system? Linux, and execute it. Getting on nuts. But finally, it has to be translated to which code? Binary code or native code. But who is doing that conversion? Who is doing that conversion? PVM, which is called as Python virtual machine. Python virtual machine. Yes. How Python achieves platform independency? How Python achieves platform independency? Come on, tell me here. How Python achieves platform independency? Two things are there. One is bytecode and one more is PVM. So Python program depends on OS. Huh? No. Python program depends on which one? PVM. So Python is having his own execution environment or not? Yes. Okay. So Python compiled code doesn't depends on which one? OS. Python compiled code doesn't depends on which one? OS. Remember this. It doesn't depends on OS. Right. Then next is this is a one of the important feature of which one? Python. Platform what? Independent, which is nothing but write once and run anywhere, compile once and run anywhere. Okay. Yes. No. PVM, actually this PVM, generally who provide this PVMs? The PVMs are developed, PVMs are provided by Python people. Okay. So it means if you want to run any Python application, you need to install PVM. If the PVM is not there in your system, can you able to execute a Python program? No. If PVM is not there in your system, you cannot execute which application? Python application. You must install which one? PVM in order to execute what? Python application. Because Python program depends on which one? PVM only. If PVM is not there, can you execute Python program? No. Yes. Okay. Right. So who provide these PVMs? These PVMs are provided by, now PVM is a software which comes with the Python software. Okay. PVM comes with which software? Python software. Whenever you install the Python software, with the Python software, you'll get which one? PVM. With the Python software, you'll get which one? PVM. Suppose if you want to execute a Python program in server, a server program, that server required which one? PVM. That server required which one? PVM, so that you can execute which program? Python program. So it is embedded, right? Suppose, assume that if I'm trying to embed the Python program in browser, then browser required which software? PVM. Browser required which one? PVM in order to execute which application? Python application. But who's providing a PVM? The PVM comes with which software? Python software. And provided by Python people. It is provided by Python people. Right. This is one more advantage. And next one is Python is not only platform independent. The sixth feature is The sixth one, okay, Python is not only platform independent, it is also dynamically. Python is what here? Dynamically typed language. Okay, Python is which language? Dynamically typed language. Python is dynamically typed language. What is the meaning of this? Dynamically typed. Okay, programming languages are again programming languages. See, all these are the facilities. All these are the facilities which are provided by whom? Python, which makes it Python is so popular compared to which one? Other programming languages, right? So programming languages are two types again. Again, in this case, programming languages are again two types. One is statically typed languages, and one more is dynamically typed languages. Okay, statically typed languages and one more is dynamically typed languages. But Python is what here? Dynamically typed. But actually this particular feature is belongs to scripting languages. See, dynamically and statically, this is completely related with what? Scripting language. Most of the scripting languages are what? Dynamically typed languages. But what is the meaning of statically typed and dynamically typed? Yes, very good, Anita, right? Yes, yes, very good. That is what you mean by dynamically. Yes, this is very good. See, she's saying this is what meaning of dynamically typed. So Anita, right? So Python can understand the type of data as per the provided data. We need not to define data type. We don't require to define which one? Data type. So this is what one definition given by Anita, right? Okay, see, statically typed and one more is what? Dynamically typed. Type is belongs to data types. Okay, type is belongs to which one? Data type. So whenever you are talking about data type, okay, see, for example, if you are working with the C language, yes, okay, now this is one more definition. Very good. I am getting different definitions here. So this is one more definition given by Kumar, right? So type declaration for a variable not required initially and it is automatically assigned based on which one? Based on the value assigned to the variable. Based on the value assigned to the variable now. This definition given by Kumar. Now, multiple definitions are there, but let us talk about what is exactly the meaning of statically typed and one more is what? Dynamically typed. Okay. What is the meaning of statically typed and one more is dynamically typed? Let us talk about statically typed programming languages. And what is the problem with this statically typed programming languages? Generally, this again, C++ are examples of for which one statically typed languages. C++ are examples for statically typed languages. Even Java also, I can take. Java also statically typed language, and even .NET also statically typed language. Okay, but scripting languages are called dynamically typed languages. Scripting languages, most of the scripting languages you call it as what? Dynamically typed languages. But C, C++, Java and .NET are the best examples for which one? statically typed languages. But why these are called statically? Because so in statically typed languages need to use what? Data types. Need to use data types explicitly. Need to use data types explicitly to reserve what? Memory. Okay, in statically typed languages, in statically typed languages, so type means here belongs to which one? Data type. Typed belongs to which one? Data type. What is the need of data type? To reserve space. To reserve space. For that, what we required? Data type. Okay. So in statically typed languages, in statically typed languages, okay, we need to use explicit data types, explicit data type, explicit data type. What is it? In statically typed languages, we required, or we need to use what? Data types explicitly in order to in order to define in order to define in order to define or allocate in order to define or allocate memory for which one? Data. In statically typed languages, we need to use data types explicitly in order to define or allocate memory for which one? Data. So that is nothing but, for example, if you are talking about syntax, this is a syntax which is used in C, okay, C++, and what is that? Java. What is the syntax you are using here is, okay, you will try to say some data type, you'll say data type, and then followed by which one? Variable name. Okay, it means you are reserving some space for this particular variable. Variable is nothing but named memory location. Okay, named memory location. Now this is RAM. What is this here? RAM. RAM, random access memory. If I want to reserve some space here, I take the help of which one? Data type. For example, if I'm working in C language, now integer, assume that it is 2 bytes. Assume that integer is what? 2 bytes. Now it reserves how much space in RAM here? 2 bytes. It reserves how many bytes of space in RAM here? 2 bytes. And after that, you try to give name to this location. What is the name of this location here? A. What is the name of this location? A. So A is nothing but here, A is nothing but what here? Named memory location. But technically, you call this A as what? Variable. You call this A as what here? Variable. Variable. What is variable is named memory location. But this variable is bind with. This variable is bind with which type here? Integer. This variable is bind with which type here? Integer. Means in this location I can store which type of value? Integer only. Okay. In this location I can store which type of value? Integer only. Because A is which type here? Integer type. Because A is which type here? Integer type. A is which type here? Integer type. So I can store which type of value? Only integer value. Now I have to use data type explicitly. I have to use the data type before creating what? Variable. But when it comes to the Python, no. In Python, you cannot do like this. Just here, I just open the Python. Now, if I'm writing here integer A, immediately Python gives what? Error. Syntax error. Invalid what? Syntax. I will not use any data type for creating which one? Variable. But variable is created by just assigning which one? Data. A variable is created by just assigning which one? data. I just write a equal to what? 10. 10 is which type of data? Integer. Then a is which type? Integer type. A is which type? Integer type. If I'm saying type of some A is which type here? Integer. Okay, now is it A is bind with only integer? Is it A is bind only with integer? No, because are you define any data type here? Are you define any data type of A? Are you declared data type here? Tell me, are you declared here? You are declaring data type, right? A is which type here? Integer. But are you said A is integer only? Are you said A is integer only? No. You when you assign 10 to the A behaves like what? Integer. If I'm saying if I'm saying A equal to which one? 1.5, then A is which type? A is changed from integer to which type? Float. It means, is it type of A is a static? Is it type of A is a static, or is it type of A is a fixed? Is it type of A is a fixed or not fixed? Not fixed. It can be changed what? Dynamically. It can be changed what? Dynamically based on which one? Value. It can be changed dynamically based on which one? Value. Type is dynamic. I don't declare it. I don't declare saying that A is integer. If I say, if I declare A is integer, then I can able to store only which values? Integer values. I can assign only which values? Integer values. But when it comes to the Python, I'm not declaring it. I'm not declaring A is this type. Okay, I'm not declaring A is this type. I'm just saying A equal to 10. Then A is what? Integer. Now, during runtime, if I'm saying A equal to 1.5, now the type is changed from integer to what? Float. If I'm saying A equal to some 1 plus something, then the type is changed from float to what? Some other type. It means A is fixed. Is it A is fixed with one type? No. It type changes from, it type changes based on the data assigned. So type is not declared. Type is not declared. The type is taken based on the data assigned. The type is taken based on the data. If the data is integer, the type is what? Integer. If the data is a float, the type is what? Float. If the data is a complex number, the type is which one? Complex. If the data is a string, then type is which one? String. But is it fixed? No. It is dynamic. It is dynamic. It changes dynamically. But here you declare it saying that it is which type? Integer. You cannot change the type. You cannot change the type. That is what you mean by statically typed. If I'm saying A equal to 1.5, will this gives an error or not? Yes, because A is which type? Integer. But you are assigned which value? Float. Is it allowed? No. And means A is always which type? Integer only. That is what you mean by static. That is what you mean by static. But the problem with the statically typed languages, you cannot change the type during which one? Runtime. You cannot change the type during runtime. You cannot change the type during runtime. Okay, na? Right. We'll see otherwise more on this statically and see some more features are there. Let us complete tomorrow at least this Python features so that we can talk about Python history, Python applications, Python software installation. Okay, I'll show you how to download the Python software and how to install the Python software and how to work with the Python. Okay, we'll talk about versions, major versions, minor versions, everything we'll see it, right? But tomorrow we'll see. Okay, tomorrow there is a class. Okay, tomorrow there is a class, and tomorrow we'll talk about this Python features, and we'll also see the Python history, like who developed, when developed, why developed, and what are the applications of which one? Python. We'll discuss all these things tomorrow, right? So today we'll just stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue. Okay, thank you.